Well, here we are again on the hood of the Leviathan. Weird, it's on concrete, but you know, it's just had major surgery recently, and today we're here to talk about, well, not exactly about Car Wars, but something neat I found on accident. Had to run to a clearance store, and I found this. This bills itself as the world's smallest Hot Wheels. Now it says $5. They were in a clearance bin. I think I got them for like $1.50 a piece. Unfortunately, these were the last ones they had, because I thought, I think everybody who has ever played this game, in fact, a lot of people still play it today. That's the original Pocket Box before it got weird and included gasoline engines and different kinds of armor and it used to be a fun party game, and now it's complicated. I think everybody remembers these. The great thing about this is that they are 12 inches long. Exactly too long to Xerox.
What?
Standard sheet of paper is 8.5 by 11. Don't know if that was done on purpose. Now, it used to not be a real problem. You used to be able to run to print shops and Kinko's and places like that. I don't know where you live, but where I live, those things don't exist anymore, and haven't. They all sort of died out around 2000. Anyhow, the world's smallest Hot Wheel. The first thing I want to talk about is the packaging. This packaging, you remove this part of the car, and there's still packaging. When you go to take the car out of the package, there is still packaging. There is this much packaging. Amazing. And then you go, I still don't have the car. Sturdy little hang tag, little hole in it for putting on a peg hook or something. You go to the back, and you pop this little door open. Oh, that's how you get the car. No, that is not how you get the car. There is still more packaging. Everybody all together? Yay, China.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize. Oh!
Look at that, it rolls.
Yeah, it's so small.
Yes, but the reason I thought of these is because
They're the right size for that.
of these.
If you want to know how small they are, for reference, on the back of the package, they're standing on a quarter.
Oh, goodness, there's one.
Couldn't you compare them to the 12-inch sheet of paper?
A lot of people will note that I've never actually fully cut these because this is not my original set. This was bought as sort of a replacement. But that Car Wars counter with a trike behind it, this is why I bought them. How much cooler. We all remember this. We all remember how cool this was. I can't believe there's nothing to say. We all remember how cool this was. How much cooler is this? Let's turn them crossway so it doesn't roll down the hood. How much cooler is that? They are exactly the right size. Now I remember we used to do it, because you could get Hot Wheels cars back in the day for 69 cents a piece. You could get Matchbox cars for 89 cents a piece. And we all used to take these little slips down to the library, and we'd experiment with the magnification on the Xerox until we got it exactly right that a Hot Wheels car fit in there. The problem then
You said it was way too big.
way too big. As it is,
Triscuit-sized pixels.
unless you're playing an arena, if you're setting up an off-ramp or an interchange or any kind of thing that involves actual streets and roads because of the movement, it spreads all over the room you're in. Used to see this game played at conventions, and I have not been to many. In fact, I haven't been to any since the 80s.
You could probably
But-
still make it fill an entire room with how tiny those are.
Yeah,
It'd just be a lot more fun.
no,
There's
it's
way more
actually a lot
tracks.
less fun because there's a lot more moving around and a lot more reaching and a lot more things getting knocked out of place, because instead of having
And they're like, oops, I'm sorry,
25 little tracks, you've got 200 little tracks.
Sorry, I stepped on your
Yeah.
cars.
And at one convention, this is where I was introduced to a newer, larger Car Wars set. Oh, gasoline engines. And that's
What?
okay.
What if they
When you
Xeroxed
read
it
through-
large enough?
When
so
you
that-
read through the very scant setting details in the original rules, cars have electric engines and plastic armor and blah 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 blah. But then you get something called power creep. What's power creep?
I don't know.
You do too. What's power creep?
It's like you can gain points and stuff over time, but
And there's always that guy that, ooh, I want this, and it gets better. I want this, and it gets better. Our first experience with Car Wars, Power Creep and Car Wars, came when the pocket box for Truck Stop came out. That added rules and little cutouts and a couple of nice road sections and a new arena for 18-wheelers.
Oh, nice.
And our first experience with Power Creep
18-wheeler would like demolish everything.
was sleepers, because the way Car Wars works, you have so many spaces in a vehicle and you can mount weapons and engines and things like that in those spaces. The more spaces you have, the more stuff you can have, or the bigger engine you can have, because a big engine gives you more power. The more power you got, the more armor you can haul around.
Sounds like Mad Max, even though I've not
Yes,
seen any
this,
of it.
yes, this is the board game of Mad Max.
Mad Max was based on it.
And I don't care if this game gets reprinted 350 times. I knew nothing about this game when I first saw it hanging up in the Hobby Lobby. That is what caught my interest. Yeah, it's really 80s color scheme.
Color gradient?
There's no doubt about it. No, the art itself. Guy named Dennis Lube, who did a lot of game art. I mean, really, really talented. Oh, here's a neat thing. That guy right there. Little guy with a little pudgy face. That is a real person. This guy won a tournament at a convention of Car Wars. So they put his face on the character in the art. Can't remember his name. I used to know it, but my God, that was 30 years ago. Anyway, the art is what caught my attention. I was like, yep, this is cool. Tandem axle van, had to have that. Motorcycle, well, anybody that knows me knows that that's pretty much what I do anyway.
Motorcycles just speak for themselves.
Yeah, motorcycles speak for themselves.
Race car.
Well, no, muscle car. And I'm not going to take it away from his art, but because the art is great, but I don't think he knew exactly what car he wanted to draw or what it looked like, because that bumper is very AMC. The grill is a blend of different models of Camaro. The body style is sort of a blend of different models of Camaro,
Maybe it's
with a
like
crawlback reminiscent of the old Boss Mustangs.
Maybe
It's
like
one of
that on
those,
purpose, since
end of
you
the
get to, like,
decade
add
cars.
armor and like customize your
Well,
car.
the other thing
basically.
is, you know, this occurs in the future, so this might have been his exact idea of what a muscle car in the future looked like. Actually, it doesn't occur in the future anymore. Let's see. There's a little history. It gives you a little bitty history that's sort of interesting. A brief chronology. 15 years ago, the food riots. Fortress towns develop. National government fails to keep order throughout much of the U.S. 13 years ago, gangs rule most of the U.S. outside of the fortress towns.
There's
Country
Mad
real
Max.
estate becomes worthless. Algae farms make up lost food production. 11 years ago. Yeah, it does sort of sound Mad Max, except it doesn't specify running out of oil.
Well, there was Mad Max up there in the
Anyhow,
title.
today, so my apologies. This does not occur in the future. This occurs today. Today, 30 years ago, today, right now, whatever. No, seriously, it takes place like in a near future. But one thing,
A near apocalyptic future.
you see, I was discussing power creep. Our power creep came with Truck Stop. And they said, okay, the tractor has this many spaces. A tractor with a sleeper has this many extra spaces.
What are sleepers? Like
Okay.
camper tops?
No, when you look at a big truck, 18-wheeler truck, you see the truck section and that great big box right behind it that's on some of them and not on others.
Because they're not carrying any cargo?
No, the big box before you get to the trailer.
The big thing that just like a cube, not the trailer and not the truck.
No, it's on the truck. Okay.
Yes, but it's not exactly like.
You guys are hitting Google. You actually have seen trucks all of your lives and have no idea what a sleeper is.
Well, I
Anyway.
don't know the name of them, but I think I know what you're talking about.
The thing is, most of us, when we first started playing Car Wars, most of us knew, because some of us actually were driving trucks at the time, that sleepers come in a wide variety of sizes. And that's when the power creep started happening. Oh no, I'm going to get an Aerodyne sleeper. Oh, I'm going to get a large car. I'm going to get a penthouse. And we just had more and more spaces until eventually these are just great big refrigerator trucks and you had to put a trailer ball on the back to actually move any cargo. That was our first experience of power creep in Car Wars. Power creep in Car Wars is what brought out, oh no, I have metal armor. Oh no, I have a gasoline engine. It's stronger.
I thought
We
diesel was supposed to be
never went
stronger.
that way because we just assumed
You don't know what the engines are
that
in Car Wars.
you're
do
going to
you?
be taking your best. You're going to be taking your best. Do you know why you cannot go down to Ford and get a Mustang with a 289 in it anymore?
Why?
That was once a hot car. That was a bad to the bone hot rod automobile.
Mm-hmm.
A Ford Mustang with a 289. You cannot get a Ford Mustang with a 289 anymore because the little V6 in Nana's minivan will outrun that car. I mean, it will. That's just all there is to it.
Yeah, I remember whenever you were driving it and you were like, wow, this thing is fast.
Yeah. Do you remember me drag racing Joey Neesmith and his Mustang with a 289?
Maybe?
No, you were a baby then. The minivan
Oh.
outran the 289 Mustang. And this goes on and on. My perfect engine. Sorry, guys. I'm a gearhead. My perfect engine is a 1968 or 69 Chrysler 383.
Was that the thing that, like...
Mated to a turbo hydromatic 440 transmission. Yeah, I know. It's not a Chrysler.
No,
Actually, or mated to a torque flight.
no, I just thought that was, like, wasn't that the couch on wheels?
No, that was the car that engine came out of.
Oh.
That is my perfect engine. Because you could throw it into any other vehicle of the day, and it was a monster. It drank gas. Oh my God, it drank gas. But it was a power and performance monster.
I think I like the car that came with the engine.
You know why you can't buy those today?
Gas guzzlers?
Because the 6-liter, which is essentially a 360, a 361 engine, in this truck has more power.
Really?
It will outperform it all day long. And, you know, we figured, hey, electric engines, or motors, excuse me. If we have gone to electric motors in cars, whatever future this stipulates, well, obviously that's the best thing available. Obviously it outperforms everything that came before.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem was in 1980, whatever,
Such and such.
people thought about electric motors, and they thought about Ed Begley Jr., or they thought about golf carts. They said, electric motors suck. I'm going to get me a big old gas burner. Let's make up some rules for gas burners. They can run twice as fast, and they can take off like a scalded dog.
Teslas.
Yes. Today, now that we have come to the future that Car Wars predicted, we have come to see that, oh, that's a crock of crap. So, you know, let's take your gas-burning scalded dog and stick it up next to a Tesla and see exactly which one is the superior performance machine.
Mm.
The more advanced one.
Let's take your 289 Mustang. Let's take my Dream 383. Let's take the 6-liter out of this thing. And let's stick it next to a modern electric car and watch that gasoline engine cry.
What about diesel?
Those rules, you get the same problem. Right now, there are... Okay,
I mean,
Elon Musk did the Tesla.
Cybertruck.
And Toyota did the Prius. And they said, why don't we have a little gasoline engine that can run the car, but mostly it's a generator that powers batteries and run the car on electric. It's insanely efficient. Today, there are companies researching doing the same exact thing with big trucks. They want to use the engine as a diesel generator to power individual motors in the wheels.
Probably for like whenever you're pulling something, you use
And
the
this
diesel.
whole idea goes back to diesel locomotives. That
That makes
big,
perfect-
massive engine you hear when they come churning through town,
Like that one.
it's a generator. It does not run the train.
Hmm?
It's a generator. It does not run the train.
Ooh.
It creates electricity to power massive electric motors that run the train.
I actually heard, I think it might have actually been in science class of like, some people will like drill holes into their exhaust trying, or something like that, to try and make their car sound louder, because it's like, ooh, it sounds louder, so it's better.
Well, I mean,
Like,
it's wasting energy. In fact, all these young kids that buy these Mustangs, the Ford Mustang has a very well-designed, researched exhaust setup. It's got a cross pipe to increase scavenging, because V8s don't wind up really quickly unless you do a lot of modifying. But the scavenging literally pulls the exhaust out of the car. And these guys, oh, I'm going to put on some loud pipes, put on some straight pipes and make a lot of noise. And they have actually cut the power of their Mustang. And I let them do it because, you know, stupid should hurt. Stupid should have consequences. Anyway, power creep in Car Wars led to all kinds of crap. And I'll be honest, I quit playing this for years when one of the guys in our group bought the supplement Tanks.
Tanks.
At that point, everybody has a tank. You go once or twice going, man, I'm going to bring that van I built. Oh, yeah, I'm going to throw that van in there and I'm going to take that. No, God, I just got flattened. I'm going to take my gasoline car with the steel armor on that sucker and I'm going to get it flattened by a tank. I'm going to take these 3 cars and get them all flattened by one tank.
Or just shot.
Tanks was the point where Car Wars kind of sucked.
Tiger tanks.
Now, you move back, you get rid of all the extra complexity, you get rid of 3/4 of the choices, you go back to the basic game and you got something really, really fun, which is why for everything that I have for Car Wars, it's all gone except for the basic game. Anyhow, there was something else I was talking about, but it doesn't really matter. We've already gone longer than I thought this would be. I just thought that this would be much more fun. It's more tactile. Honestly, it's easier to position and move. May have to get some super glue and dot it in the wheels, but I mean, they are exactly, at least this one is, the correct length. If you're concerned about it, I suppose you could find a little plastic screw, possibly even the little trap door off of the. My God, this packaging is insane. So much plastic going into the trash. You could possibly, you know, break that off, glue it to it if you're worried about that. But they look really, really cool.
Forget about, like, stop using straws to save the turtle. Stop using this.
Well, you know, when I was a kid, there was one cheap little blister pack on a piece of cardstock, and that was how your Hot Wheels came. Mm-hmm. And when I was a little kid, playing with them to play with them as opposed to playing with them because we'd blown up our Car Wars maps, Matchbox cars actually came in little pasteboard boxes. There was a picture of the car on the box that was quite often larger than the actual car. But this is another one.
That's a nice looking car.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But the green tires are a little weird, but you know what the heck. It's a game. Have fun with it. Paint them if you want.
There's another one right here, but it's...
Yeah, let's just leave that in the package. We've already got enough to clean up.
It's a small little limbo thing.
Yeah, it's like a bathtub. Sports car. Anyhow, if you look at the back, apparently there's a fairly wide variety of them. Ooh, I don't know how many, but I mean, even if this is all of them, you've got 3, 6, 9 in total.
What's this one up here?
Blitz Speeder 2016. Now the problem, like I said, I found these in a discount store. And the particular store I found them in, if it's in that store, it means they've already stopped making them. But you've got eBay.
Sounds like Ollie's.
Yeah, it was kind of like an Ollie's, but it wasn't Ollie's. But you know, you've got eBay, you've got Amazon, you've got all these people that buy and sell stuff all day long. You can probably look them up. It's just a neat little thing that I wanted to share with you guys to say, hey, here's an option on dressing up your Car Wars and not having to make it any bigger than it is. Because it's as fun as the game is, the biggest problem with it was the game board. You had to keep moving the game board and changing the game board. And
what I would have done was just like, okay, so we have this piece. We're just going to keep moving it forward.
And if you blew it up for Hot Wheels cars, the game board, the roads, this is rough because, you know, it's been 30 years.
That's quite
The roads
large.
are about that wide and you'd end up taping them together forever. We had it worked out. We had a grid pattern that you could print on the sheets at the library and then cut them all out and we had little small tracks and tape them all together.
I just remembered something that you mentioned like forever ago. You got him a like a gas station Hot Wheels thing, and you were like, you know, like this would be perfect for Car Wars, and like, you never mentioned it again.
Yeah, that was mostly for your mother to laugh at.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I don't know. These will probably end up thrown in a box. I guess for right now, you can tuck them back in this little container. I won't say it keeps them safe because I'm not keeping all this extra little plastic packaging. It doesn't keep them safe, but it'll make them easier to find. And you can always hang them on a wire or something.
On a little string and go, it's my little necklace of cars.
Now, the 4 I got were the last 4 in the store. May have been the only 4 that were ever there. Because, you know, for $1.50 a piece, I'd have bought every stinking one they had. But, once again, like I said, it's just something I wanted to share with you guys. Original Car Wars is the best Car Wars. Nice, simple, fast. You can learn how to play this game in 20 minutes.
Makes sense.
And then play it
Nice.
for 30-something years.
Nice.
The game makes sense. You're not gonna have people who just buy